airport. Flight's delayed by about an hour. No, I'm sorry, 2 hours. They did give me a travel voucher, $100. Good, not great. But on the way to Florida, sitting for me at the, I don't even know, Orlando airport, whatever you call it. Nothing crazy, just a 2016 Cadillac CTS-V. Quite the weekend ahead of me here. So, as they say, wheels up in like an hour and a half, and then on to the parking spot to pick up my ride for the weekend. Should be a fun one. Time 10:40, finally made it in Orlando, and there she is, right there. 2016 Cadillac CTS-V Series, the real deal. Pitch black, so obviously this is the worst time ever to film this, but yeah. Last time I saw one of these was at an auto show, so pretty crazy. Let's see what's up here. I'm digging these lighted door handles here. Look at these guys. Front and back. Oop, there they go. I do find it crazy that cars nowadays, they're all LED, so everything is just this white light everywhere. I don't know if you can make that out. Little V-Series sill plate there. Wow. Seriously, serious car here. So the headlights are moving. It's interesting. Very, very crazy. Alright, I'm just going to apologize in advance. There's going to be more of this. This is just literally the worst time ever to film, as I said earlier. It's 11 o'clock at night, but I wanted to sort of mess around with it, you know, when we first got it here. So, yeah, let's see what happens here. Customizable gauge array here. Let's see what happens when we switch it. We got Tour, we got Sport, Track, and then of course Snow and Ice, which isn't even going to happen. Let's see what happens when we put it in Track. Alright, so Made it to the hotel. Kelly has to get up at like 3 a.m. so I have to go to bed. I can't really stay out screwing around with this thing, but initial impressions on the drive over here, there's lots of power. That's the number one thing, and lots of buttons. It's once again that old thing of you better pick your settings first before you drive, because messing around and doing the whole deal while driving is not very safe. Nevertheless, though, made it here in one piece. It's a serious car that I'll say requires some discipline to drive, that's for sure. But in the white, looks pretty sharp. Very, very neat inside. Lots of seats, lots of buttons, lots going on. So I'm going to get more into this tomorrow. But yeah, that's it. The 16 Cadillac CTS-V all weekend here. Alright, so it's officially day 1. Yesterday didn't really count. Heading out to see the V. Drove it a little bit this morning. Once again, no crazy traffic. So today, I can actually go out, do a little bit, see what's what. It's pretty cool so far, though, not gonna lie. Very, very powerful. Powerful to the point where it's almost that unusable power, but I've also only driven it about 15 miles, so more to come here. Wanted to give you the rundown on everything on this interior. There's a ton in here, like, as in, it's kind of mind-blowing. That's a look at the optional Recaro seat in there. Very, very cool seats. They're not cooled, but they are heated, and they have bolster adjustment, lumbar adjustment, holes for the non-existent racing seat belts. Pretty slick seat, though. Keys in my pocket. This is a no key, keyless ignition, whatever you want to call it. So push the button to start, foot's on the brake. Gauges should appear here magically. There they are. And the radio is off right now. There's a lot going on up on the gauges. I'll run you through sort of what all this is here. Cup holder right here. Give it a little shove. A little motorized action there. Got going right here is our power outlet. I guess a change holder. Glove box here does have, if you can see, it is kind of dark, USB inputs, power outlet in there, which I believe that is optional, and another 12-volt outlet. Shifter, pretty self-explanatory. Manual mode if you want to use that. One of the other crazy motorized things here is there's a glove box button. You press it, glove box pops open. This model doesn't have it, but there is a optional CD drive. It seems like we've taken a step back in time with that, where you can buy that to have a CD drive in there if you want to listen to CDs, because this car doesn't have that standard. Also, you can see their SD slot for the performance driving camera system that's mounted up front.
Left turn. Please turn next left.
One of the cool things they give you here, and granted this seems so trivial, but it does help, especially with this. They give you a fancy schmancy Cadillac, looks like almost like a Kleenex, but it's a microfiber cloth to wipe off your screens. All this gloss black stuff, which is literally the toughest thing in the world to keep clean. It looks really cool when it's clean, but when it's all gross and fingerprinted, it looks like an old nasty iPad. So it's cool they gave us that. And then in here too, there is a V-Series supplemental book there. It tells you how to run the track modes, everything that's going on there, which I'll show you that here in a second. Down here is sort of our button that does it all. I'm going to show you what this mode button does when I press it. And you're going to notice I'll kind of quit talking here when you flip through these. The exhaust changes, the suspension changes, the steering changes a lot. I'm in the touring mode now. But if I go down to, we'll go to the crazy one to track. Gauges change, everything changes, and then our exhaust is a lot raspier. It opens up more. I can go to sport, which isn't as crazy. Gauges stay the same, and you can flip it back to touring. So pretty cool little option. Snow and ice, I have no idea why you'd need that, but maybe somebody's going to buy this car and drive it in the snow. The other button down here, this is obviously traction control on and off. This off button though, you press it twice to get into these driver modes. So you press it here, and now I have performance traction management. I have a bunch of settings here. I have wet, dry, sport 1, sport 2, and race. So just basically different modes of slippage, of active handling, anything like that. Obviously, you know, you got to be careful with that sort of stuff, because now I have all these warning lights on the dash saying watch out. These buttons here, these are sort of a multi-directional four-way switch. Like if you see here, I'll press to the left, I can bump over and pick the different sections. It'll let me go through different things here. I can go over this one, sort of do the same thing. I can also, if I find my options here, I can turn off the V gauges, and I can go to an enhanced mode. These ones are pretty crazy. Ooh, ah. And then you can back out of there, and then I can put whatever I want in the middle there, my phone, my whatever. You can kind of customize this at your own leisure. And then I can go just the simple balanced one. This is how the car came. You can pick what you want on each side. You can go to your Sirius XM. You can show anything up there. So kind of cool. When I turn the radio on, I get some more stuff on there, which I'll show you that now. These buttons right here, every time you touch them, there's a little vibration behind your finger. You can almost hear it, but I doubt this will pick it up. Cadillac Q system, which does get a lot of negativity, but this is the second Cadillac I've reviewed, and I really haven't had any problems with it whatsoever. There's a lot of cool stuff on here, not gonna lie. One of the neat things on here, this does have Apple CarPlay, which I'll sort of do, I think, in a separate video. But you can adjust the climate on here. You can pretty much do just about everything from this screen. And there is even this trick little thing here. I press on the bottom here, this pops up. The USB back in there, and then if you can kind of make that out, that is the wireless phone charging station, which my iPhone doesn't support, but that's what that's for. You can hear it sort of getting loud in here because of the AC came on. So, sorry about the pause there, the break in the footage. I plugged my iPhone in, and now I have an icon that says Apple CarPlay. If I touch that, Sort of shows where I'm at, and I do have my little button there that's kind of like the Apple home button. There's all your different options. You can play your music, you can go to your messages, Apple Maps. I mean, I really don't have all these on my phone to use. Like, I don't have podcasts, I don't have audiobooks. I use different apps for that sort of stuff. You can go to Now Playing and pull up your music. Maybe not. It's an interesting system. It is clever. I guess I'll say it was somewhat thought out, but it does limit you to safe things, like, if that makes sense. It sort of like will only let you dictate a text message. It won't necessarily let you type one, which is smart. The maps come up. They do work nicely, but it's honestly the factory nav I think looks better than that one that's built into this car. Much more, I guess, 3D looking, more detailed. CarPlay's cool, I guess, if you have an iPhone. I wouldn't say, to me, so far, it's not a complete deal breaker on like, oh, I have to have this system. But it is neat that all your stuff is right there. It does do text message dictation really well, so you don't have to sit there and type on your phone. And it is doing that move where we are limiting, people staring at their phones while they drive. A couple other features here. This is the lane departure on and off. When that's on, if you switch lanes without your blinker in this car, the seat does buzz and vibrate and freak out. Parking assist, and then this is also that system where it will actually park the car for you. So I'm gonna see if I can film a video with that. Pretty cool. Other than that, I mean, pretty standard memory seats. Heads-up display is very cool. I don't know if you can see it up there. It's all color. I can change it to show what I'm listening to. I can move it, adjust it, the whole deal. That's pretty cool. Up here we've got our OnStar HomeLink garage door. It does have the motorized sunshade in the back, and then it's got those shades on the back, on the side windows there. No sunroof in this particular model, but that's the interior for the most part on the CTS-V. Alright, so been in here filming some random stuff, just sort of trying things out more than anything on this first day with the CTS-V. My first initial impressions last night were, wow, there's a lot of buttons. Now that I've kind of figured out what the buttons do, it's kind of like now I'm just starting to mess with the power, see how it runs, that sort of stuff. People surprisingly notice this car. Like, I've had a lot of people staring, slowing down, like this guy over here, now he's speeding away. It's interesting in that regard, but as far as like the number one thing which everybody wants to talk about with this car and know about is the power. There's a lot. I don't know how to say it without sounding like lame here, but it's almost too much. Like, I'm in a busy spot in Orlando near Disney World. It's there's people everywhere. There's people driving. It's Saturday, and this car will hit the speed limit and then some, and you're caught up with everybody. And I get it's meant for the track. It's meant to do something like that, but it is so much power, and it just goes so quick. I mean, it is like unbelievably fast. Started messing with the driver modes, the race mode, the traction control end of things, and it's kind of cool how many settings are involved with this thing, but the sound it makes is just so cool. Like, just take this in.
They're right after 2 miles.
And then you're already going way too fast. I mean, it is just unbelievably unbelievably fast. Unbelievably. It just sounds so good, and you can get into so much trouble with this car because you just want to like keep hearing that noise over and over again. I will say I was very excited about these Recaro seats, the optional upgraded seats. They're a little bit uncomfortable. Now, once again, I'm running the risk here of like, if I would have told myself this, that I would have said it's too much power and the awesome Recaro seats are uncomfortable, I would have laughed at myself yesterday. But I don't know, they're kind of like, for track use, once again, they're really...
right after 1 mile. Then bear left immediately onto World Drive.
They're really, really comfortable for track use. Like, as in, they hold me in. I got bolsters. Everything's adjustable on them. They're really neat like that. But just for driving around, they feel somewhat stiff. So as far as like a long road trip in these, I don't know if I would really do that. But this is just day one. This is going to be kind of an interesting review because I'm just going to like piece it together with everything. So it's kind of going to be all over the place. But overall, first impressions for today, wow. It's a serious car, serious steering. The steering's so heavy in track and in touring mode. The seats are seriously stiff and comfortable. The power is unbelievably good. There's an unbelievable amount of buttons that if you're not techie, you're not going to know
next right.
what's
then
going
bear
on.
Left immediately.
But overall, super, super cool car so far. Very, very neat to look at. Very, very fun to drive so far. So more to come. Alright, so it's roughly 5:45 in the morning. I've got to head to these parks because Kelly's running her marathon today. Long story short, I'm a little tired. The CTS-V, which I'm going to take to get there because it should be a little quicker, has remote start. Here's the fob, keyless fob. When you have a car like this though, it sounds so cool when you remote start. I just had to show you this from a distance here. So it's got the lights on there. You can probably see that. It's a little dark. You lock it. It's just so cool. It sounds so neat. And then the fact that you can make that sound with the push of a button when you're 50 feet away, it's so neat. So after doing the whole marathon thing, spectating, running all over the place, finally get into the V here, see what's happening. Being in Florida, I guess you do kind of picture a Cadillac as being kind of commonplace sort of everywhere around here, which this isn't really the area where the retired people come to cruise around their Cadillacs and that sort of thing. But even if it was, this wouldn't be the Cadillac that would be seen at the retirement village. It's not. This Cadillac even deceived me, even after reading about it, watching many different other reviews of it, press footage, everything like that. It is just something totally different than I expected. It actually, when I look at this car and I feel how it drives, and you feel the steering, the power, the handling, everything that has to do with this car that matters, it's actually, to me, more track-oriented than it is street-oriented. It feels like it's actually, supposed to be like 65% track, 35% street. And with that being said, it kind of reminds me, I was trying to think of an analogy to describe this car. It sort of reminds me of, if you've ever seen the movie American Psycho, Patrick Bateman. Stay with me on this. You know, in the movie, Patrick Bateman, he's you don't really know his job other than he's like kind of like a Wall Street dude type thing, finance, whatever. On the outside, pretty, quote unquote normal, expensive suit, looks sharp, always takes care, that whole deal. But then, on the inside, he's a complete madman. He's a psychopath. He's a murderer, that whole thing. He's losing his mind. And this car is kind of the same way. You can park it in the parking lot, and yes, it does have a Cadillac insignia. It's got some little touches to it that might let you know if you're kind of in the auto world of, okay, what does that hood mean? What's that, big brakes under the wheels mean? That sort of stuff. So you kind of get a glimpse of it, but you have no idea what's in store for you until you actually get behind the wheel of this thing and drive it. Because it literally, to me, it is borderline uncomfortable for the road. It's not bad. I'm not trying to sound like I'm wimping out on this car or something. I would take this car in a second. It's awesome. But for a Cadillac, for highway cruising in these big, heavily bolstered Recaro seats that I keep talking about, and just this throttle response is insane. It's definitely a car that I feel like would be more at home on the track. I equate it to driving a Z06 around every day. It would be a similar kind of feeling. And that sort of brings me back to the V Sport, which I drove roughly like a year and a half ago. Same exact body, everything like that. The twin turbo V6 version of this car. That to me is more street than track. You can track that, but that's more the opposite. That's 70% street, 30% track. So kind of going from that, this car is unbelievably neat. It really is. I absolutely love it, but it's definitely one that, once again, like I've said this 1,000 times with GM cars, you almost really want to drive this before you buy this, just to see, is this the one I want? And most of you are going, well, yeah, obviously, that's for sure the one I want, no questions asked. But it's got these big, huge Michelin Super Sport, Pilot Sport, Super Sport tires that are expensive. It's got these huge brakes, heavy steering, a really loud exhaust if you put it in the proper mode, and so much power that most people aren't really going to know what to do with it. You're not. So that's kind of my thoughts on it today. I'm going to drive it a little bit more here and show you some other random things on it. But it's definitely a complete madman. It's a beast of a car. It really is. It's fast. It's slightly big. It doesn't feel heavy, but oh my God, it's absolutely a blast to drive. And I would love to hammer it, but I'm caught behind a dude on his Sunday cruise in his Harley here, so can't really do that. Finding places to drive out here have been a challenge. This road isn't too bad. And then this happens. Yeah, I don't really know how long this goes for. I think I'm gonna back up because as much as I want to see where this goes, I don't want to get this car stuck. Well, somewhat lost after the dirt road incident, but did find this road's kind of cool. So this is the last day in Florida. That means last day for the CTS-V. Can't really do too much today because heading back pretty soon, and by the time you take the car back, do everything like that, the day's pretty much shot. I'm gonna show you a few different things on it here today, just to sort of wrap this up, but it's kind of a bummer because I really want this car for like a week and a half, but that's how it goes. Kind of got to sleep in today just a little bit to like, I don't know what time it is, 9? No, I'm sorry, it's like 8. This is still my favorite part of this car right now without really owning it. It's just so cool. It's like having the coolest sound in the world controlled by a remote. I'm going to walk up and show you under the hood of this guy. The CTS-V LT4 supercharged V8. They make a big deal about this strut brace. It even has bracing that goes back to the firewall. Pretty clever stuff. I don't know if this will transfer well. Oh yeah, I think it will. Carbon fiber hood, completely visible under the hood, and they actually like did some crazy weaving on this, which means basically they spent a lot of money on it so it looks good under the hood because you're buying a Cadillac, which in turn costs you a lot of money. This splitter isn't the carbon fiber one, but they make a big thing about this splitter because they have cameras up here to show you if you're going to hit it, and clearly this one is very close to the curb, but these cameras pop up if you want them to on the radio screen in there. The V wheels, Brembos, pretty legit brakes, Pilot Super Sport tires. The other crazy thing is all these vents are functional. There's a horizontal mounted transmission cooler underneath. There's brake cooling ducts there. I don't even know if you can really, you can't see them, but if you put this car up on a lift, you can see all these vents and, you know, little ductworks in the fenders and things like that. Really, really neat stuff. Like right in here, heat exchanger. Right in there is one. They're just tucked everywhere. It's so cool. Really neat car. Like if you like stuff on a car to talk about and to be like, wow, they really, you know, made that happen, or they really changed it from the plain old CTS-V. Rear Brembos. As I showed you many times, my favorite part is this exhaust. It does have that active exhaust where it opens and closes some valves. Functional hood with heat extraction. Pretty slick right there. It's really sunny up, a really chilly day. Sorry about my crappy lighting here. Such a crazy car though. Lots and lots to talk about. You could just rattle off facts all day about this car because they put so much into it. Very, very cool though. Did a whole interior video, but sort of getting some more here just to show what's going on. These seats are seriously legit. One of the neat things I showed on my interior video was these knobs down here. This little guy right here, this controls the adjustment, and you can adjust things from the side bolsters on the bottom, the seat back, and even the lumbar with just this one control. Pretty neat. These are lighted sills that show the V logo. Little touches that look really neat. This carbon fiber looks really cool. Not some wood grainy Cadillac garbage that you'd expect when you hear the word Cadillac. A really nice interior though, and it probably should be for $90,000. I filmed earlier a little bit of this audio system here, but I felt like my Apple CarPlay footage wasn't that good, so I wanted to show this again here. iPhone 6 does support CarPlay. This factory radio does support CarPlay. USB port is run into the glove box here. All you do is plug it in. Pretty simple. If I can bring this up here. The CarPlay logo just appears magically right there. And then my phone says CarPlay. And I can actually, what I thought was surprising, I didn't think this would work. I can actually still use my phone. So anyways, it's really glossy, but when you touch CarPlay, there's your icons. Looks just like the iPhone pretty much, and it allows you to do certain functions that you would probably want to use while driving. Now, it does sort of automatically voice prompt, and it actually is really good at reading your voice. It's the Siri voice and all that. Got my cell phone status there, the home button there, which works just like the home button on the iPhone. But you hit phone.
With whom would you like to speak?
And it automatically asks you, any of that stuff there. All the different contacts, you can hear your voicemail. Hit the home button to go back. You can go to your music, which has all your music. Maps. Pulls up where you're at. And it does, you can talk to it and that sort of thing. And it looks, what's neat is it's a familiar screen. I hope this transfers over because it does look really white on my GoPro screen, but I think it'll be alright. It's a familiar screen. It's not like you're learning something totally new. Text messages are cool because it does just like magically.
Who shall I text?
You can tell it who you want to text. You can dictate the text, everything like that. I did say in my last video, and I still stick to it, just because it is Apple Maps doesn't mean it's great. Apple Maps are okay. The factory navigation on this looks so much better. It just does. It shows gas prices. It's neater. It just looks better. And if you forget to plug your phone in, that still works. So that's kind of cool. Overall, though, CarPlay right now, I'd give it like a I don't even know, 7 out of 10 maybe on my end of things. Just because, I mean, I love my iPhone. I'd never go Droid, but it's almost too simple, and I get why they made it simple. So don't like hate on that comment, because it is neat. It's cool that they did it. And if I had to buy an aftermarket radio for like one of my cars at home, I would totally make sure it had CarPlay. So Apple CarPlay and the CTS-V here.